Hey guys, welcome back to Just Carve Rob. Okay, we just finished a cottonwood bark Santa Claus. And he has been Mod Podged. He's been Mod Podged. And I decided that I'm going to paint his eyes white and put pupils in there. Just because you really can't see his eyes. But we're going to let him dry overnight. I'll let that Mod Podge get set up good, and we'll come in here and we'll put some white in the eyeballs and give him some blue eyes and get our thing stuck in his head so he can hang on the Christmas tree. All right? All right. Now, we're moving on to some pine. We got some pine. Some kind of pine. Some kind of pine. This may be Huron pine. Pete sent it down from Ladner. But it don't smell like pine, okay? Has like a perfume smell to it. Yep, smells kind of perfumey, like a flower almost. And what I've done is I put it on the bandsaw, split it in half. You can see I'm ended up with two. Rob, how do you end up with two different sized pieces when it's the same piece of wood? Well, your bandsaw wanders. You can see it's thinner here and thicker there. That's how you wind up with one piece bigger than the other. And I've also gone through with my knife and I've shaved off the sharp edge from the 45. Shaved those off so they don't want to break off later. So I shaved those edges off. See how nice that stuff cuts? Trick I learned from Doug Linker. When you're carving on a corner piece, bring your edges down. Otherwise, when you're carving with a knife, they could where that's thin, it could snap right off. And that's a good way to cut yourself. So, I think we'll start with a small piece first, and then we will go to the bigger piece. Alright? Alright. So, we might be using a little bit of knife work. We're definitely going to be using our Dremel 4000 with a flex shaft. We'll be using our... Still got a lot of cottonwood bark dust on that. We'll be using our micro carver. Definitely those two. And we'll be using a variety of different burrs, from diamond burrs to cut-saw extreme burrs. We'll be using some cut-saw regular coarse and original fine. Original coarse and original fine. And I'll let you guys know as we change them out. Alright? So, can't let Ben over at Studio on the Lake have all the fun carving Santa Clauses. Our next Santa Claus that we carve, if we get to it, will be made out of Wisconsin basswood from Ben over at Studio on the Lake. Alright? So, let's get the... We'll get all the noisy machines fired up here and turn on the, get our pencil. Where's our pencil? Come here, pencil. There's a pencil. Okay. So, it's the corner piece. So we have to figure out where his hat's going to be. Which I'm thinking, we're not going to put a tall pointy hat on him. We're going to have the hat probably flip forward with the dingle ball in the front. So this piece of wood is 4 inches long. And it is 2 inches wide. Okay, 4 inches long, 2 inches wide. So we're going to make our hat. Let's see, we got to fit the that in there. So let's make our hat, oh, we'll say an inch and a quarter. Inch and a quarter long on the hat. And then that back in the back, we're going to drop it. We're going to bring this line down to 1 3/8. Okay? 1 inch and, oops. Wow, where was I at? Okay, yep. 1 inch and a quarter, and then 1 3/8. So we're going to drop the hat 1/8 of an inch. So what you're going to do is take and go from your 1 1/4 line oops, that's my boo-boo. Okay, 1 1/4. Alright, now we'll get it. Our 1 1/4 line to our 1 3/8 line. So we're going to have an 1/8 inch drop on our hat. Just a little bit of an angle. Now you don't have to do this. You can go straight across like we did with the other one. So you see how that line's got a little bit of an angle back right there? Just 1/8 of an inch. And then we'll do the same thing with our fuzzy fur thing here. Don't have to be perfect. So our fur is going to start at 1 inch, or 7/8 of an inch here, and then drop down that 1/8 of an inch, and then 1 1/4 inches here, and then drop down that 1/8 inch. It don't have to be perfect. Okay, so before we start carving this, we know our hat's going to come up and be rounded at the top, right? So we're just going to come off the quarters and make that little round there like that. Can you guys see that? Okay, here. Oh, wrong thing. We'll get a marker. Okay, so we're just going to round that over like that. Same thing here. And then we got our lines going down like that, like that, like that, and like that. Okay, now you guys should be able to see it. Alright, and then our fold over here, we're going to put our ball, a little dingle ball, pom-pom, whatever you want to call it. We're going to make that oversized for right now. And then just come off from that with 2 lines. Like that. And what we'll end up doing is bringing all this back. Now, this marker's not very good, is it? Yep, I think this marker's about dead. Bad thing about these those cheap markers, man, is they run out of ink quick. Because the wood just kind of sucks it right in. There, that one works. Okay, so let's draw that ball back on there. Like that. And then our hat will be like that. It'll be rounded over like that. And of course, as always, all these dimensions will be adjusted as we're doing it. But that's a rough start, right? Okay, then we're gonna draw his I think we're gonna put his eyebrow line, something like that, somewhere's in there. And then we're gonna make his nose bottom of his nose right about there. And like I said in the other video, I like to start out with the nose a little bit on the large size. Okay, and then from there we can put his put a mustache on him. We can curl it up and bring it down so it makes it look like he's smiling. And then the rest will be all beard. Put his cheeks in there. So roughly, that's how we're starting out. We'll see how it turns out, okay? So let's fire up the noisemakers and get this party started. Oh yeah, forgot. We gotta round this over too here. Like that. There, now he's got a beard, kind of. So we'll probably end up shortening up this mustache and his nose and adjusting the beard to the right length. Alright, so let's go ahead and fire up the noisemakers, guys. Alrighty then, we're going to start off with the Cuts All Extreme. Put in our Dremel 4000 with the flex shaft on it. We got this cranked up about 3 times normal speed so everybody don't fall asleep. We're just shaping the hat. Getting that shaped in. We're cutting that down. We'll getting it rounded around like a hat is, you know. Got to make it round. Even though you're working on a triangle, you still want to make it round as you can. Plunge it in there with that Cuts All Extreme burr. Now we're setting the flip over pony part of the hat with the dingle ball. Get that worked in. Now we're cutting the brim or the ruff. It's called the ruff. The fuzzy thing that goes around your hat, it's called a ruff. Probably because it's not smooth fur. It's roughy and fluffy. It's supposed to catch the wind and slow the wind down as it hits the hat so it doesn't make your face cold. That's what they told me at the reservation anyway. That's how you do it. That's why they do that. Leave the fuzzy on it. And I guess up there in the North Pole is pretty cold, so that's where you really need a ruff to keep your freezing your brains out. Speaking of freezing, man, it's cold in Michigan. Cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. It is cold. Cold, cold, cold. It's like 25 degrees. It's so cold, the shop inspector don't even want to go outside and play ball. Now, that's cold, because that dog loves playing with her ball. And nope, she don't want nothing to do with it. It's just too cold. Okay, now we have our microcarver, and we switched over to the small carbide burr. You know how we love that small carbide burr. And we're just going to go ahead and get this hat shaped in here. Do a little undercutting, get everything drawn in, should we say. Clean, get some sharper lines put in it. And then we'll move on down and start working on that face. Getting that all taken down. And but I think we're running out of time here on this one for today. So I think we're gonna end this video. Okay, we have the original Cuts All Gold Fine taper burr in there. Just smoothing everything out. So I think that's going to be it for this one, guys. Share, subscribe, like, check out the descriptions below. Check out some of my friends. We'll have their names in the descriptions below. Carving Fusion, Ben Studio on the Lake, Kevin over at Sticks and Stones Wood Carving. All right, so check out World of Wood Carvers. Check out Wood Carvers Helpers. Facebook pages, and we will catch you on the next one. All right? All right. Bye-bye.